Previously on James and Sunda.
You're not going to believe how strong this woman is. 2 miscarriages, and look at her now. This one's a keeper.
This one's a
keeper.
He tells everybody's business. You can't tell him anything.
You can't tell him anything.
You can't tell her husband anything.
Except when it comes to a legal thing, what happens?
Then he won't. Then he
won't
keeps
say
his
a
mouth
word.
shut. But unless you want it printed, don't
Nothing.
tell him anything that you don't want printed in the New York Times.
That's all I'm
saying.
saying.
That's the truest thing you're ever gonna hear.
Because you will go to hell in a handbasket.
Stacey Hatch has told me everybody thinks you're so beautiful and so exotic, but Sunda, if you were white with that nose, you'd be really ugly. That's what she said.
What's my message?
Your message is to get all these Jews out of here. Now get them out. Now I ain't studying these people. I want us to go back and help get all these Jews out, and you the beginning.
You know, if Miss Roxanne is right, if I have been chosen, if I am a messenger, I'm gonna need a little bit more than just, you know, some toothless therapy patient to tell me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the big show, the big James and Sunda show.
How big is it? That's what I want to know.
So
How big is it?
big. It's bigger than my
Nose.
and my nose.
There you go. There you go. I couldn't think of
My
anything to say.
nose.
You know,
Last week
I-
my nose. This week
This
my
week,
nose.
everything, it's been so much. We try to remain evergreen on this show, but I have to talk about the Jewish holidays because I have to tell you something. It takes more out of you than 2 C-sections and teeth, too. I'm sorry
Whoa,
about that.
what's going on?
I don't know.
How
I'm
are those
kidding.
teeth? Whose
They're
are they?
doing good. Whose are they?
Yeah.
They were made in Taiwan.
Made in
but here's
Taiwan.
what they're my
Yes.
teeth. They're my teeth. I'm still paying. Here's what's
You're
happening.
still paying.
I'm
Yes.
talking about a young you can't imagine. We don't want to really talk about like
Jewish holidays at Sunda's sometimes feel a little bit like a Klan rally, okay? Things happen, things are said. I can't Passover.
some things we can't repeat.
We can't repeat. Well, one year you had the serial killer, which we talked about on the show. That was unbelievable.
We had a serial killer.
Another year you had the Persian woman who came in and
she
got
thought
upset that the black woman downstairs wanted to use the washing machine.
Because she wanted to use more than 3.
And she didn't think she actually owned a condo in the building.
She
thought
said if
she
you
was
looked at her, you would think she was housekeeper.
She did. She
This was
said
my
this
guess.
to Sunda.
You
would
can't
think she
make
was
this up.
housekeeper.
You can't make this up.
And then last year, one of our good friends, who's a brilliant writer and he's very funny, he prepared a roast.
Right, for our producer.
For our producer. And he's roasting Ray, our producer, and he makes a joke about Korean girls.
Right.
And didn't realize sitting right across from him
Was a Korean girl.
Was a Korean girl. And it was very embarrassing. So we told him, you know, hey, you made a joke about Korean
Little
girls.
offensive.
It wasn't very nice.
It wasn't nice.
So the next night, Sunda had different guests. She had a Chinese girl there, and he showed up, saw the Chinese girl.
And apologized profusely, and I mean profusely, about his actions from the night before, but it was the wrong girl.
She had no idea what he was talking about. It was the
She's not
wrong
even
girl.
Korean. She's Chinese.
She's Chinese. He said, I'm sorry about those Korean jokes last night. She was like, I wasn't here last night.
No, she waited though because she was stunned. So she listened, and we didn't know what to do.
It
and
was
magic.
If you thought the first night was rough when he was making the jokes, the second night during the apology
the second night was terrible. It was uncomfortable. I have uncomfortable moments that are going on.
But there's even worse.
There's
than
even
that.
more. There's even more.
Then we had this one guy, an old friend of ours,
Yes.
who used to invite all the time.
I
and
invite him, but
and
he's
he used to
fancy
bring
now.
a different racist.
Yes, he used to
each
bring
time.
a different racist each time to my home. So then this one woman
The
came.
racist of the month he was dating.
This is unbelievable. She was just so British, and everything was just so proper. And this, in this. And so me being a little well-traveled, whether you know it or not, I just was curious. I said, where were you born? All right? And James is like, why are you always so nasty to people? You're nasty to... No, he says I'm nasty to people, but, you know, I just wanted to know where she was born. Look, you're British, right? You're like, I love you, yeah, Beatles stuff, right? Why can't you tell me where you're born, right? So he says, this is what James says. James says, can't you just like, be nice once in a while to people? I said, I am nice. So I asked her again. She was like, does anybody have a fag? I'd like to smoke and do. Where's the loo?
Yeah,
all
and
these
the girl wants a cigarette, and she happened to have some acne. So you know what Sunda says to her? You really shouldn't smoke. It's terrible for the skin. You get it. That's what you said to her. She clearly has acne, and Sunda just lets her know. You really shouldn't smoke. It's really bad for the skin.
It's bad for the
But
skin.
finally, Sunda got to the bottom of where she was born.
And I said, where were you born? She said, would you believe I was actually born in New Jersey?
New Jersey,
I'm not going to say
yes.
where because she might be watching.
But she didn't make any outrageous...
Dude, she went to school for 4 years in England, and she said she had an accent. My husband went to school in England, and trust me, he's straight out of Brooklyn,
Right,
all right?
well-
So that's bizarre. But then we go...
No, but she didn't want to eat the food because you were black and that you also had
know.
Latinos. That's right. So she was a racist. She had
She didn't
racist.
want to touch the black
Right, she
hand.
didn't
The
wanna-
black hands are only good
right.
for one thing. Yeah, another
But
girlfriend
she wasn't
who
as vocal
posted
as the other
a friggin',
one.
Aunt Jemima picture on her website after being at my
Who,
house.
me?
The anorexic,
The
yeah.
anorexic, yeah.
Yeah, piles
I
up
don't
the plate with
remember that.
food. Now my food's from the ribs at Doheny Meats are like $8 a pop. She's like,
A bite, $8 a bite.
I'll have more. I'll have more. I'll have more. I'll have more. Nobody's eating. I'm noticing this because I have to, pay for this. And then she goes to throw it away. And I go, James, she's not throwing it away. You're taking it home. You're taking it home.
I didn't take it home.
No, I told her to take it home.
Oh, you told her to take it home?
Damn right I did.
Yeah,
At these prices, you're going to take it home.
I
You're going to sit
can
there.
assure you she hasn't eaten it.
Dude, she's out there pulling her hair. You're
Okay,
crazy.
whatever, but
let
she
me go
wasn't
on.
racist,
That
though.
wasn't as bad. She put up Aunt Jemima.
Maybe
on
she's
her
a
website
fan.
afterwards. She's not a fan of Aunt Jemima.
All
right,
right.
here's the next thing. The last thing is that this same friend of his who brings these strange people.
Friend of ours.
No, it's your
friend.
friend.
Of ours. Hey,
His girl-
hey,
hey.
whoa. You invited him this year, all right? I didn't invite him. Friend of yours.
He's watching this show.
That's
Hi,
okay.
you
How
know
are
who
you?
you know who we're talking about.
You
know who you
brought
are.
a girl to
You
Sunda's
brought a girl to
who
my
made
house.
some outrageously racist
Outrageously
comments.
racist comments.
To a very educated woman who is Spanish and said, you would think, this girl says, she's not even Jewish, and she's like, oh my God, you would think with us being so close to Mexico that Sunda could get better health.
Said it out loud.
Out loud.
No shame.
None.
And he's in love with her.
He's in love with her.
He was like, look how cute. She's making fun of
You know what's
Mexicans.
unbelievable?
Adorable.
It's like
Yeah.
it's adorable. He goes that's what I like about her. Like
That's her
she's
sense
not-
of humor. That's what he said.
He
That's her
goes,
sense
"A
of
sense of
humor.
humor."
It's a
Her-
dry sense of
Yeah,
humor.
let her
yeah.
come to Paterson, New Jersey. We'll dry her out.
Yeah.
Listen, stick around for some more show. We got some more.
You just like that? You just done? You going to
No,
career?
'cause you got
That
me
was
all-
so abrupt. What was that
Got me all
about?
upset again. I got upset.
You're
again.
upset?
Yeah.
Why? Why are
She
you upset?
insulted people who are
This
very
was
close
years
to me.
ago.
Doesn't matter. She's still in his
What
life.
about your friend who drank so much
Oh God.
he was done. The whole okay.
That's my friend. My friend.
That's your friend.
I
I
met
didn't
through
invite him.
you.
This all takes place at her house, so they're all her friends.
Now they're my
Okay.
friends, okay? When they first came out to LA, okay,
Only once
James
were they
had a
my
posse.
friends.
James had a posse, but I didn't know they were going to turn into like scotch drinking alcoholics puking in my bathroom with my kids screaming.
One of them did do that, yeah.
Yeah, and then broke my,
But he didn't make any racist comments.
no, he couldn't even get off the floor. How could he make a comment?
You're right. If he wasn't sober enough to make any comments. You're
It's
absolutely
unbelievable.
right. It is
It's a
unbelievable.
zoo. And then my husband says to me, you're going to get us killed one night. That's what he did say. He goes, if you invite one more stranger, because I have just one more to tell you. I'm not going to even mention
Just
this.
meets people and says,
I
"Come
meet
to
people,
my house."
and I've got this woman who's contacting me who wants to know who's coming. She wants to know who's coming. She wants to know if my housekeeper will be there. I think she's got something for my housekeeper.
And she's inviting people.
And she's inviting people.
she's inviting
right.
people.
She's inviting people. If you're inviting people, invite them to your house, and you go to Doheny Meats, and you pay for it. That's all I'm saying.
That's all
Not that
she's
I don't
saying.
love
Now
you.
we gotta take a break.
Now we got to take a break.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, we
I'm
do have
just
to take
doing
a
what
break
you were
now.
doing.
No, I'm just.
All right, we're gonna really take a break now. Are you sure? Are you
I'm
okay?
so
Calm
sure.
down. Calm down.
No, I'm upset.
Breathe.
I'm not going to breathe. I'm not going to cook again either.
That's okay.
I'm done. If
You're
you
done.
guys are watching,
She's
and
done.
I'm done. I'm done. You can't put up Aunt Jemima pictures after leaving my house. You can't talk about Mexicans in my house. And you can't sit there with your phony accents when you're born in Jersey. Because you know what's unusual? I was born in Jersey, too, and I spent a little time in London. And you know something? I'm still a queen.
You sound that's a Jersey accent according
you
to
go.
this other girl.
All right,
I will
guys.
say this: if you can, befriend Sunda, try to get invited to one of her high holiday
Something
dinners.
crazy is going to happen.
I mean, it's really remarkable. I think Ringling Brothers contacted her this year to videotape the.
Listen, before we
the
go,
ser-
let's
the-
just say
the
this
dinner.
one last thing.
Yes.
In Jewish law, you cannot reject someone who invites himself for Shabbat dinner when they're a Jew.
Okay.
Do you remember the woman that called, God rest her soul? Remember the girl that called and says, I'm coming to your house for Shabbat dinner, and as a Jew, you can't tell me no.
I don't remember this.
Yes, you do.
I do? Okay, I remember
Oh,
this.
God, you do. I'll
Yes,
tell you.
I
Want me to
do.
refresh your memory?
What? She used the
picked-
hands?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I remember this. She used the hand. I have a hand thing, as you know, if you watch the show, and I'm always sanitizing. And
This
this
woman
woman
reached
into stuffing. You know, like stuffing, like turkey stuffing. You would use a spoon for that. She just reached it.
reached with her hands.
I was like, I want to see how she serves the soup. That's what I was thinking after she did that with the stuffing. All right, but now we really got to take a break. We got to go to commercial. You okay?
Oh, we got to eat.
Don't choke. All right, we'll be right back. We have an incredible, tremendous.
Don't have a self-inflated image.
Okay. We'll be right back. Coming up, last call for all Jews returning to Israel. Miss Roxanne and I are heading home. Or are we?
And some New York rabbis perfect the art of email nagging as James and Sunda continues.
Welcome back to the show. As you know, we have a national competition.
National.
An
It's going
out
to become
sick.
international soon.
I think next year it'll be
Yeah, it'll be
international.
international, definitely.
Everyone's got out sick fever.
They can't help it.
And this year's out sick winner is Ian Shahan, a lawyer serving time for fraud in federal correctional institution in Oklahoma City. A prisoner is playing. Unbelievable.
Is he Jewish in Oklahoma City?
I don't know if he's Jewish, but he was celebrating his birthday behind bars last week, and his girlfriend brought him a cake for his birthday. After consuming the
Nice.
cake, he started vomiting uncontrollably. Uncontrollable vomiting.
Oh my God.
He suffered from bouts of watery diarrhea. The prison medical staff diagnosed him with neurovirus.
This is new.
Neurovirus, thank you. And they said that he got it by consuming fecal matter, most likely laced in his birthday cake.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
you know
right.
what?
Now, to prevent the spread of neurovirus, the medical staff locked Shahan in the solitary confinement while continuing to treat him. Prison officials said, we have had people try to sneak in files and saw blades in birthday cakes before, but we've never had this. This is a man who will do anything to win.
This is a man.
He went from a white-collar criminal to the most feared man in the cell block. So congratulations, Mr. Shahan.
Congratulations, Mr. Shahan. And
You
know
are
what?
this week's winner.
And we're going to autograph this copy and send it to you, and maybe we'll send you a little chocolate.
Maybe. Congratulations. All right, now, our first guest joining us on the program. We have our dear friend. He is an actor, a comedian, and writer, does voices on The Family Guy, and you can see him in the hit movie Ted. John Viner.
John Viner.
John Viner.
John Viner.
John Viner. You're up. You're on.
Hi, everybody.
7
Outsick
minutes.
is a wonderful game, and we hope you continue to play it. I don't know what I'm here for.
John, we are so happy to have you here, and we're so happy with your success on Family Guy. I remember being called in for a voiceover the day I had laryngitis, and it was just so terrible because everybody else was happy but me and you, because I was like, "Hi, John, how are you? I'm here for an audition."
Do you remember this? Do you remember
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
You do? Oh.
I remember saying, "Why did she come in?"
Right.
That's a determination. I'm gonna
That's
win
right.
This thing,
That's
even
commitment. It's a
That's
fierce
commitment.
competitor.
That was commitment, yeah.
We know John a long time. We all did stand-up together back
In the day.
in the day.
And that so you knew me before I had kids. You knew me before I was married.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's and you still look the same and we don't.
No, that's not true.
How is it that you
How
still
is it
look
that
the
you still
same,
look the
John
same,
Viner?
John
Tell
Viner?
us.
I
My
love
husband always said you look like a Kennedy. Remember?
He did say that. He didn't say it in the right way, but he said it in sort of like. No, it was right. I think when one of them was accused of something, and it was the babysitter scandal. I
They're always
think.
accused of something. Which time? The babysitter one, the
Yes.
last one. Now, what's her name? Scarlett
I
Johansson.
don't
She's
know. I just know that JFK Jr. is dead because that woman made a cell phone call, and that's.
James, you're crazy. He's still crazy, by the way.
I'm convinced the plane crashed because what was her name? Bissett?
Because she made a cell phone
She
call
was
and
on
that
the phone.
screwed up the.
Yeah, I'm convinced.
So you're the one person who believes that cell phones are going to.
I do. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
one thing that you're right about is James likes to do his old jokes, and he's still doing his old jokes.
Yeah, but I can't do my jokes because people take them. That's the issue.
I think he's crazy.
Well, give me an example of a joke that's been stolen.
Okay.
Recently, I did a joke that the economy was so bad that I went onto eBay, and you know what I saw on eBay? eBay, it's on eBay, and then Leno did it about 2 weeks later. There were
2
Leno
days
writers in the
later.
audience that night.
It was 2 days later.
And I knew that, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do my act. You know, maybe just talk to the crowd, but I did it anyway, and then that joke was on TV.
Leno. Then he did a joke about once you go black, can you go back? Does this apply to presidents?
And then Chris Rock did that, and then Chris Rock writers were in the audience that night too.
So at least with me, I don't have an act.
But I would think,
What's
you know,
stealing?
So I'm done.
you're here at Jewish Life. You could get litigious.
A Jew Sue?
A juice.
Oh my God, that's
I
interesting.
mean, you do have proof probably that you're taping your sets and what date they were there.
I do, but all they'll do is send you like what they think the value of a joke is.
And you don't want that.
$100, $200? No.
Not when you got the money from the show.
I'm taking it. Oh yeah, well you know,
JLTV.
it's
But
all right.
you know, it's really.
But that would get you, if you wanted to, you would then all of a sudden become a Leno writer, hypothetically, right?
In theory, I could put that on my
Yeah,
on
you
my
could say, "I wrote a
resume.
joke for
Wrote a
Leno."
joke
Wait,
for
James, that's what
Leno.
I'm saying. Why don't you submit and well, don't do it now. I need you for the show because I still can't remember my jokes. I'm still doing the same act. I just use different inflections. I
Well,
bet things have changed a little.
The
bit.
last time I told John this, the last time I saw him do stand-up comedy, I thought he was developing an incredible act, and then I never saw him again.
He told me how great you were, and then you just dropped out again.
I like to show potential and then just walk away.
I like that strategy.
yeah.
It's good, yeah.
Well, he could have been, but
Right, leave them wondering why.
Yeah.
Like where?
Why would a good-looking guy like you want to go on a filthy stage of a comedy club and
Well-
talking to a mic that like 100
Exactly.
people?
Well, you
spoke
were
into?
writing for TV. You were doing the voices. You were doing a lot of stuff. I've seen you on a lot of commercials. So you probably
I saw
were
you
busy.
at the Super Bowl. You were at a cash machine
Bank of
on
America, right?
TV.
yes, I was.
He was going to the cash machine. I said, it's John
I
Biner.
was on a commercial. I wasn't at a cash machine at the Super Bowl.
Oh, they didn't just get you at a
No,
cash
it
machine.
wasn't. Yeah, that was a.
You were acting?
I was
I
acting.
totally
That's the thing,
believed you
Bob,
were at a
that I was-
cash machine. Yeah.
That was a fun commercial. If you notice, I'm wearing like 7 layers of clothes, including a jean jacket, which, as you know, I would never wear. So
Oh, really?
that was the tell.
Oh, man.
I'm not a jean jacket.
No, you're not. You've always been that kind
I'm
of
a
a
khakis guy.
Bostonian guy. Where were you born?
New
I
York.
think I know. Yeah. Manhattan. You are from Manhattan.
I'm from Manhattan.
Are
a
you really?
Manhattanite.
So where
Born and bred.
did this Connecticut thing come from? This whole,
From you. No, I went to college in Connecticut.
is that what it
That's
was?
what you probably thought.
And your friends
UConn.
that came to see you.
I didn't go to UConn.
Yale.
I visited.
Ah!
As I say, my father went to Yale. So I've been there.
see.
And then I was reminded every day of my
So he's
adult life
disappointed.
that, yes,
didn't go to
that
Yale.
I didn't go to
Is
Yale.
there anything you want to, a lot of Jews don't get along with their parents, so this is exciting
Yeah.
for us to hear. Do you want to say anything to your dad?
For the 100,000th time, I'm sorry. I did everything I could. Actually, it was funny. I went to Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut, and I started to do the application after my freshman year to try to get into Yale. And so my father read my essay, and he goes, "Is this a joke? Is this 'cause you don't want to go there? Is this why you're writing this?"
Oh, that's.
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
And I was
That's
like, "No, I was
great.
telling a story of how I feel." It's, well, then we're going to have to rewrite this. And I was
We
like,
should
"Oh."
have your father on the show.
You should have your father on the
Wow.
show.
Yeah, he's a piece of work, but he's
But
finally.
you're not dead to him, right?
No, and then now he's excited for me. He likes to say the opposite of what.
Right.
I married someone like that.
Yeah.
Well,
So
he saw Ted. He saw you and Ted.
he didn't see Ted, but he
He
wants.
Ted. My mother doesn't watch the
They
show.
don't watch the
We-
show.
They don't watch the show.
We performed for Family Guy. We went to Carnegie Hall. We did a live reading, a table read of one of our episodes, and so all the cast was there reading. I read the stage directions, and then I do a bunch of parts, and I sang a song on the main stage of Carnegie Hall.
Wow.
It was great. We had sold out performances, and I invited my parents, who live in New York, but they also have a place in Florida. And they didn't come because they go, well, we already had a flight going the day before, and
Wow.
it's not like it's your show. I mean, you're part of a group.
It's like we have a twin here.
We're
my
triplets.
God, we're triplets.
My family doesn't watch the
My
show.
family doesn't watch the show.
You're across town, and we're not going to get a cab.
I have a friend. He won't cross town. If I don't want to visit him on the east side, he won't go west. He's like,
What
why?
are with these people?
This is our family.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's.
And this is why we.
That's why we do this.
Right. That's why we do.
That's
this.
why you have to bring home a black girl, and I mean one with a gold tooth and cornrows all through her head, and have it like sticking all the way out and be like, Dad, she went to Yale.
Yeah. How would he feel about that? How would that go over?
I
She has a
think.
degree in
Would he look
African
at you and be like,
studies.
"Is this a joke?"
I think he would say that Yale ended when it went co-ed. That would be his out on that.
Oh, really?
Wow.
But no, I think it's weird that your parents become supportive when it doesn't matter anymore. So,
Right. To us.
Yeah,
To us, not to
that's what
them,
I'm saying.
right.
It's like, well, I'm proud now. It's like that. You're now? Okay, well.
Right. We got to take a break. John Viner, ladies and
Thanks,
gentlemen.
everybody.
The
This is
Family
fun.
Guy.
Thank you.
Good friend of ours. We will be right back.
Follow us on Twitter at James and Sunda.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It is now time for This Week in Jewish History. In Baltimore, 1922, Mendy Fine was the first person to sue everybody.
Oh, now that's really making history.
That was a historic moment for Jews.
And I'm going to continue the tradition.
And now joining us on the program, telling us about the most pressing and most urgent news stories confronting the Jewish people, we have our New York Bureau Chief, Chris Edling, joining us on the show. Chris Edling. Chris, first of all, it's amazing how all of the stories, or most of the stories, seem to come out of New York. How is that?
What can I say? I admit my bias openly. This week, we have an advance in the world of Jewish technology. A group of rabbis have unveiled a new app that is an email reminder to help people keep their Rosh Hashanah New Year's resolution.
Now, Chris, I would imagine Chabad did this not just so people would remember to go exercise and things like that, but mainly because they would make their resolutions to do something more spiritual, keep more rituals, be more observant. I would think that was Chabad's main interest in such a thing. Is that correct?
That's correct. So the way the system works is basically you go to it's chabad.org/resolutions, and you can post publicly on the message board what your New Year's resolutions are. And you can set up an email reminder as frequently as you want. So daily, weekly, monthly, however often you want basically this email service to nag you to remind you to keep your New Year's resolutions.
Chrissy, just tell me, what are some of the examples of like the emails that people are sending? I want to hear.
You know what? Some interesting things have popped up on the message board. People have shared, the things that you would expect, people saying they want to quit smoking, they want to lose weight, things like that, but also things like, I need to remind myself to call my mother, and things like that. So yeah, that's in the mix too, absolutely.
So is it working? Are these emails effective?
There are people who are saying it helps them. There is one gentleman who was interviewed who said his resolution is related to using his gym membership, so visiting the gym. And he said he set up this reminder, he gets it right when he leaves work, and, it is inspiring him to go to the gym 4 times a week.
All right, Chris, what do we got next?
The last operating synagogue in Egypt, which is in Alexandria, is closing, which is to say that this year they have not observed Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur services.
It's almost like the life of the Jews, observant Jews in Egypt, has come to an end.
Yeah. Now, it should be said that there are, in fact, other synagogues in Egypt, but this is very important because it's an operating synagogue. A lot of other synagogues have been turned into tourist sites or, historical points of interest, whereas this was actually a functional operating synagogue, which is what makes it significant.
Chris, I'm just curious, do you know how many Jews are left in Egypt? That are Jews who are out?
Well, it's hard to say. Because so many of the other, obviously, if this is the last operating synagogue, all of the other synagogues that would have been operating have closed long ago. So if there are people who are practicing privately, it would be difficult to gauge that number. There may be quite a few, although one would think that the other problems they would encounter living in Egypt as a Jew might motivate them to go elsewhere.
Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chrissy. We love you.
Keep the news coming. We look forward to what you have for us next week. Our New York Bureau Chief, Chris Edling, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Edling. We will be right back.
Email us your comments at jamesandsunda@gmail.com.
Welcome back to the show. It is now time for This Week in Anti-Semitism. As you know, the anti-Semites are watching us, so we're watching them.
That's right.
And joining us is America's sweetheart, here to give us his one-man commentary on the world, Mark Zaffron, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, everybody.
The Mark Zaffron. You know, Mark, at the high holiday services that I went to, everybody in the synagogue was talking about the problems of the world, and did I tell you what they were saying? They were all saying it was Jimmy Carter's fault.
And
I said, I'm surrounded by a bunch of Mark Zaffrons.
if you would, when I sent you that email that I wanted you to post on your website of the cartoon in the Post, where Jimmy Carter walked in when Obama was watching them burn the embassy, saying, "Good show."
Well, I didn't post it. I didn't post it.
Because you didn't agree with it. That's what
Anyway, let's get to the anti-Semitism, shall we? America's sweetheart is right here. Let's start with Iran. We like to start with Iran because if you read the Tehran Times like I do, you always get to know the latest and greatest stuff coming out of Iran. So at the moment, Iran has a new accusation. They're accusing the Israelis of promoting homosexuality. Have you read about this, Mark?
I love it.
And what are your thoughts? They're spreading homosexuality all over the world, and they're saying that it's an ugly phenomenon, and that Israel's also responsible for other ugly phenomenons, such as feminism.
They sound like Tom Cruise.
Feminism.
They sound like Scientologists. According to the article, support for homosexuals who suffer from a mental illness that requires treatment and psychiatric drugs cannot be explained simply in terms of defense and human rights, since the extent of financial, political, and social support for homosexuals in the West is wholly incongruent with their percentage in the population. Of course, it isn't wholly incongruent with their percentage in the media, but that's besides the point. However, who's going to enforce this ban against homosexuality?
Listen, here's the question, Mark.
You sure about that?
The Iranians are saying that this spread of homosexuality is a part of the pursuit of the Zionists to dominate the world. How does spreading homosexuality help in world domination? That's what I want to understand. I want you to get into the minds of the Iranians and tell me how spreading homosexuality helps to dominate the world.
Well, if they spread it to Iran, there are less Iranians, which means we have a lower proportion of suicide bombers being born every day.
I see.
What do you mean homosexual? They'll come up with something else.
Now,
no matter what it is, it's the West's fault because they are unsuccessful. That's their problem. That's why they hate Jews. That's why they hate the West. It's because they're unsuccessful.
They also say that Tel Aviv is a gay paradise.
Is it?
Is it?
I don't know.
Hey.
Can anyone confirm
I would
this?
say it would be Haifa.
Haifa, hi. Hey, look at it.
Yeah, but why Tel Aviv?
I don't know. And they also say right here in California, the California school curriculum includes homosexuality because it's recommended by Jewish universities that it should be in the curriculum.
So, here's the interesting thing. Maybe not Tehran, but in Afghanistan, they make up songs about boys across the river. There's actually an Afghani
across the river?
There's an Afghani folk song where the men sing about the boy across the river with the round butt, and they're talking about the promotion of homosexuality.
How do you know?
Give this man a bouncing bee. Let's hear it.
Because I read.
Sing the song.
Reading is a lost art in this country. I read.
Okay, so I know how to read.
But you don't read the same things I read.
Mark.
You don't read the Inquirer enough.
This is exciting. Sunda is actually talking during this segment. You don't get this very often.
I need a new piece of jewelry for my birthday.
Do you
I'm
think? Go for it.
Not this year.
All right, well,
Oh.
let's get out of Iran. Let's go to Europe because the EU did a study. They found out that anti-Semitism was growing in Europe. Then this is what the study found. The study found that 70% of the Polish people believe that Jews seek to benefit from their forebears' suffering.
All 10 of them.
And that Poland and Hungary...
They left after killing them off.
Poland and Hungary were at the top in terms of anti-Semitism rates. Portugal was a third. Germany was a close fourth.
Well, and how am I supposed to comment on that? Let's see. Poland.
I don't know.
3 million Jews gone.
Yeah.
The Polish stood by and watched. Hungary, But the Hungarians were better during World War II. I don't know what happened. There must have been the influx of Russians.
And it's really the anti-Semitism is largely part of Europe's attitude towards Israel, is what they are.
But this is fascinating. Why Europe hates Israel?
Yeah,
I mean, why does Europe hate Israel?
Why?
It's amazing. I'll tell a little story.
Please.
When years ago I lived in New York, I had a friend who happened to have been an editor for Posten. And he was
Posten?
Posten is the largest paper in Jutland. And if
What's
you
Jutland?
Jutland is that portion of Denmark that was taken that the Germans stole, and then by Schleswig-Holstein. It's the mainland portion of Denmark. It's actually a little bit part of Germany.
Are you people writing this down?
Because he's smart.
All right.
Yeah.
So not only that, this friend of mine happened to have been the editor who put the Muhammad cartoons in Posten.
Okay.
Why, they're going to burn down Jewish Life Television? You're already on their list.
Okay.
There's nothing else you can do. You're top of the list. So he was the guy responsible for that. So he was disappointed when he was in the Palestinian territories and he was doing all this wonderful social work. Why they didn't appreciate him and why they had to hustle him out after he did the Muhammad cartoons. At the end of the day, let's look at it this way. He was always a virulent anti-Semite for no reason whatsoever. He had another friend. She was Austrian. I said to her, the only thing you guys don't like about World War II is you lost. That's the only thing you regret. These people are born with it in their mother's milk. This is what they're taught.
It's genetic.
It's not genetic. You live your life the way you're taught. It's education.
Like Mel Gibson, his dad taught him.
Yeah, Mel Gibson's dad taught him. Mel Gibson could have been a convert.
Right.
Right?
He could have been a good guy.
He could have been a good guy.
A dad like that.
But his father's an asshole.
Mark!
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
And he was born in New Jersey, by the way.
His father or Mel?
Mel.
Really?
Mel's from New Jersey.
Anyway, we gotta go.
Okay.
America's sweetheart, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Zaffron.
Say thank you.
Thank you very much.
He's mad at me about the Chabad thing.
No, I'm
can't
not.
go through
I'm not. We'll be right back.
Be sure to like us on Facebook at The James and Sunda Show.
Well, now you know something. I know, Sugar, but you know, that trip to Israel, if I could walk on them cobblestones, Lord. Yeah, I did. I try. That's my grandbaby.
I know, we've met. Good to see
know.
you
You
again.
know what? He big enough now. He changed his own diapers. I tell you that.
You did tell me that.
Thank you, Sugar.
See you later.
I'm going to see you later. I want you to get some rest.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
want
try.
you to drink some. And listen, I'm trying to tell you to take that cod liver oil that I told you to take.
I'm gonna try that right now. Thank
Okay, I'm going to sit here with Dr. Jimmy.
you. Okay, see you later.
Okay.
Bye, Sugar. Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. You know something? I know people was thinking the same thing I was thinking. You know, you get older and you get tired. But this time I have to tell you
Yes, Miss Robert.
that we was in Israel. It was the greatest time of my life.
Yeah. You look like you're gonna pass out. She's falling asleep and she's humming these spiritual songs, and it's flattering, but it's also comical that she thinks I'm some sort of messiah or messenger, and it's wrong to laugh. I actually shouldn't be laughing, but it doesn't matter because she forgets anyway, so it's not a big deal.
I was tired. I'm going to admit, I was tired. Now we done walked all through Haifa.
Yeah, Haifa.
Well,
You
you
love
know,
your Haifa.
you say Haifa, I say Haifa.
Right, it's the old
All I
song.
know is Jerusalem was beautiful.
Yeah.
And them soldiers, I saw them soldiers standing tall and proud. And that's the example. That's why I took my Medicaid money and just took every penny I have from Social Security, everything. And I took you to Israel, Jimmy.
You did, and
you
Jews-
also said you wasn't coming with me to Israel.
I
Till I
did.
told you that ticket was free. Then you jumped up in that plane.
Well, I thought there was therapeutic value to it, Miss Roxanne. I thought that it would help your therapy.
I was at the nail salon just the other week, and then I had heard about you.
Heard about me?
Yeah, well, I think maybe you got something to tell me. I heard so many stories. I don't know. They talk about you suspecting a baby now. I don't know if that's true. But you know, it's one of them Iranian women, so I know you got to get out of here. Now, I know you better leave if you undone something like that, Jimmy.
Oh no!
Oh
I
yeah,
ain't-
you gonna have to
I
go.
ain't
You
done
gotta go
nothing like
far,
that. No, I
and you
can't
can't go to
discuss it, no.
Iran. You
I
can't go to
can't
Iran because they're gonna hurt you there.
I'm not going to
There,
Iran.
let me tell
Who
you
said I
something.
was going to Iran, Miss
Let me
Roxanne?
tell you. Well, now listen, the child's from Iran. What I hear. Now I'm not one to talk about people's business.
I
What
can't
I'm
confirm
saying
or
is that
deny any of this.
I
can't.
don't know, because the nail salon woman claimed that you supposed to be taking her out.
What I do like about spending time with Miss Roxanne is that I get a lot of information about my other clients because they seem to all meet at a nail salon, and I get to find out that they're all kind of talking about me.
So I was sitting in a nail salon, and then I see this one. She always talking about she want to be Jewish, and that she gonna see this doctor, and this doctor gonna help her. I know that Dr. James is now, as they say, hot for me, and really, I know that after I do my technique that Kim used, he got the yellow fever. He got the yellow fever. He gonna help her. How he gonna help her when I heard he done got this young lady in trouble and she already got a child? I know he loves me because he hypnotized me and make me give this to me.
And I'm developing this reputation that is not good for business, you know? And I'm just trying to help these people.
I mind my business, but I just want to know if it's your child or not.
I don't know, I can't comment on anything like that because
Because I'm going to tell you something, them Asian women, the little Chinese people, they can be dangerous, so you got yourself in a situation.
you know, I'm treating the people with severe mental health disorders, severe and chronic. This isn't your high-functioning neurotic that I'm talking to, okay? These aren't people who have issues with their mother and just want to, you know, get some empathy and some compassion. This is one woman who thinks I'm the Messiah.
That could be a miracle. That could be something like the Immaculate Conception.
This is another woman who has learned relaxation techniques in a North Korean prison.
After I use this, and after I use this, after I use this, it's unbelievable how he just summoned, and he asked me out for date.
And then I've got another woman who's got a daughter.
He got so excited. He was like, oh my God, my daughter. I have a daughter.
She's pregnant, and they think that and it's an hysterical pregnancy, and they think I'm the father.
He thinks I'm having hilarious pregnancy. And this is not hilarious pregnancy. This is a real pregnancy because you can see the foot of the baby. So it's odd that he is involved with this Asian woman and he involved at the same time with an Iranian, because let me tell you something, it's more dangerous being involved with that Iranian because she crazy.
So I am, in my view, I'm a hero.
You got to get yourself out of the situation. The only way to do it, Jimmy, is through the good Lord. And you doing something. Now, I learned the word when I was in Israel. And it's called a mitzvah. And that's what you need to do. You're going to get all these little Jewish boys who sit up here and play these
Where
video
am I
games.
getting Jewish
Video
boys?
games ain't nothing but Satan.
But where?
They ain't nothing but Satan.
What Jewish boys?
Oh, the ones sitting up there playing that Madine or whatever they call it. And football and all that mess, sitting up there instead of going outside and running with a ball, they're going to sit on a couch and make
Why are
believe
they going to
play a
listen to
game.
me, though?
Because you going to get them out of there. We going to get all
I'm
my
going to get
friends.
them out of there.
We going to get my social security
I
checks.
don't know who you think I am. I don't know what vision you've had. Who told you I was some messenger?
Maybe somebody told me that's from a high authority.
Yeah, what higher authority? Who told you what?
Don't question it, Jimmy. Just
Miss
get me to the
Roxanne.
door.
Get you to the door?
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Roxanne. It was.
And I'm going to come back for you. Now I know you got that little thing. Oh, Lord, have
Listen,
mercy.
Miss Roxanne, you gotta understand. I'm
Old
not.
Arthur's acting up on my back.
I am not who you think I am.
If I could just get Dr. Jimmy to perform, just to perform a few miracles, then maybe he would get to understand who he is and why he's here and why he got to go back. I have never been so happy. I've never been so happy. And Julia's going to be so happy.
I want to go shopping, 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 shopping. Then go to Disneyland, Legoland, Disneyland, Legoland, Disneyland, Legoland.
It is clear that my way of dealing with Dr. James is working because he asked me out on a date. He don't even realize what he did.
This is going to have a happy ending. Okay, this is not going to be a catastrophe. Somehow this is all going to work out. Welcome back to the show. I have to say, Sunda, this was an incredible show today. You were at your best. You actually spoke during the anti-Semitism segment with Zafran.
I had to. He's telling everybody's business.
He really is one of the inspirations for everybody's business, the segment we did last week, and we will bring that back.
We will, because
maybe next week or the
he's
week
out there
after.
right now talking about someone's business that is probably here in the building.
No, I know that when I tell him something, I know when I tell him something, I'm telling everybody. I know that. But yet he's a lawyer, and
he won't tell you anything about a case.
Yeah.
He'll be like, "What happened, Mark? Are you crazy? I'm a lawyer." That's
when he was
confidential
representing me on the movie and the contract, he wouldn't tell you anything.
Nothing.
Wouldn't
I'm
tell
his
Sunda
wife.
so.
I even
love
held
that.
back.
He wouldn't even tell me about my parents.
No, he
when
wouldn't.
he represented them.
Oh my God,
when
he
they
did
got,
represent you.
My parents got into my dad got into a car accident. He wasn't his fault. Someone just crashed into him, and Sunda's husband was the lawyer for that.
So we wanted to know what was going on,
He wouldn't say.
He wouldn't say. He
He
said he
wouldn't say
couldn't. It
anything.
was client-attorney.
Client privilege, yeah.
Client-attorney privilege, and that's Ruth and Stephen's business.
But since I am not his client, and you are his wife and not his client, anything you tell him is everybody's business.
Well, actually, James, you're more than you're his brother. That's what they all think in the building. They're like, they wear the same glasses.
My glasses are nice. His are very nice too. I like his glasses.
But you don't even look alike, but they think you're brothers.
Interesting.
And it's also at the mattress shop where they think you're other things.
We don't look alike, and they think you're my mother.
That was a Vietnamese man. That doctor, you know something? I should just like go back there. Are you the mother?
Now I'm going.
Why would I look like the mother?
I'm going to the doctor with Sunda on Monday, but Sunda is not coming to the doctor with me on Tuesday.
Because I have to be with. Where do I have to be? No, because he has to be there at 7:30. I have an 8:30 appointment with the orthopedic surgeon.
You know, we'll give you guys the update on my eye next week, because the eye is. I'm going to have an MRI on Tuesday.
MRI.
And you know what? Do you know, they asked me if I was claustrophobic. I said, of course. Then they said, do you want us to put you out for the MRI? I said, of course.
Why?
And then they said, well, then you'll need someone to drive you. And I said, forget it.
Call a cab.
And I said, forget it, because she can't come with me.
Well, you know something? Why don't you call Ray Bruni on a private jet from Palmdale?
From Palmdale.
Yeah.
Will you come to the MRI? You'll drive me? Okay, Ray Bruni's going to drive me to the MRI. So hopefully you'll see us next week, because we both got to go to the doctor. And
we got to go now.
We could be dead. If we are dead, we'll be champions of out sick.
I don't want to be the champion this time.
I don't want to be champion either. I don't want to win this game.
I don't want to win.
I don't want to win. Oh my God. I don't want to win.
The game was fun, but now we don't want to win.
We don't want to win. Yeah.
It's getting too real now.
When I saw my parents really playing, I was like, oh my God.
When you texted me I might have MS, I was like, oh my God.
When I saw my parents playing, I was like, what if they ask me who I'm rooting for? You know what I mean? I was like, how do I answer that question?
But you enjoyed your visit, and that
I
was
had a
good.
great visit, yeah.
And how many hours were you there? 72?
No, about 3.
No, you
That's
were
why
there.
I enjoyed it.
You were
Hello there.
72 hours.
No, I was there. I was
and
there
you should
3,
go
4
back
days.
more often.
I
James's
am.
family is very, very welcoming to me, and
There's
I
a
love
picture
them.
of you and my mother right there when you walk into the dinner. Right there, it's
As-
you
as
and
it
my mother.
should be.
Can we talk about this Viagra, Levitra, Cialis thing
Who are those people?
for a minute? Who are those people, right? You know, on the commercial, so they say that on the commercial, they say if you have an erection lasting 4 hours, call a
Did
doctor,
you say
right?
erection?
They say it on the commercial. Why can't we say it?
Okay.
And this always freaks me out, because a lot of guys are like, yeah, that'd be awesome if I had an erection for 4 hours. I would not feel like this is awesome. I would be freaking out, and I wouldn't wait 4 hours. If I had an erection that lasted 3 hours, I would go to the emergency room. 2 hours, I'd be like, what's going on? 2 hours, I would go to the emergency room.
Why wouldn't you just like relieve yourself?
Obviously, that doesn't work. I mean, or else they wouldn't say it in the commercial. Because then they would say, if you have an erection lasting 4 hours, go to a massage parlor. They would say, you know, instead of go to the emergency
I
room.
don't want to talk about this. My kids are watching this.
We're ending on an up.
This changed the whole game. Guys, you were a terrific audience. We are so sorry.
All
Children,
right, that's it.
An erection is a monument. That
Children,
put up.
you watch the Super Bowl. It's America's favorite show.
My kids don't watch
Those commercials are on nonstop. Like, we're breaking new ground here.
I don't still want my
Like,
daughter-
this is edgy, talking about Viagra. They're on the Cartoon Network commercials for Viagra.
Well, I don't want my kids to know about it. It's a monument. And to all my kids' friends,
Okay.
they're like monuments that are built. They're erected. And that's what we're talking about. So Uncle James is talking about.
Schmuck.
And so
She
with
just
that,
said schmuck.
I'm sorry, you can't say that.
I think you can.
This has gotten very difficult. I'm going back to Muhammad. See you guys next week.
I don't know what that meant. I'm staying right here. Have a good night. We'll see you next week. Good night.